Welcome! 401. TeaDB is officially old.
Yes.
Well, we've been old for a while.
We old.
Yeah.
We got some specialties from
Tea Encounter.
Tiago himself. And I just wanted to note that I got this note and kind words said to everybody, and it's cool. Makes me feel good. So thank you, Tiago.
So he sent some tea specifically to Denny. He's
like,
James, GTFO. Denny, here you go.
It's, anyway, thank you.
Yeah.
It's a treat, and, yeah. Although James does deserve all the credit. I really just show up, and I'm comedic relief, so I'll be the jester at the court. Maybe the first one to hang, or the last.
Well, there's only two of us, so, you know.
I like those odds.
A betting man would say that's a good bet.
So, 2015 raw.
Yeah, Beijing storage, so we're looking at something that's definitely a little cooler and drier than what we normally bring onto the show.
Right. And Tiago mentioned that he thought it was a specific positive to this tea for that reason. So I'm excited to see if we can
give that
even
a
get a sense of
filter. How's it smell?
Smells very good.
Yeah, so this tea is 6 years old.
Yeah, it's got kind of a fruit roll-up finish to it.
Yeah.
Very Pu'erh, but to start. Pretty high compression, looks like. Small guy one, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching. This was fun. The treat to just be able to do this, take some time, have some tea, hang out.
Yep. So Nannuo is a mountain in so Duoyizhai is the specific area within there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's known for sort of like more of a floral, leathery, maybe a little fruit. It's within Monghai County, so some things to look out for.
Yeah.
We'd expect the colder, drier storage to just sort of age the tea more slowly. So you could probably tell we're getting pretty pale liqueur from that. So we'll see if I'm sure Tiago is correct that a lot of the high notes have been preserved. We'll see how this is.
And to not burn myself. All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Still pretty hot. But I can definitely taste some florals to it. Probably, if I were to guess, I would have guessed this tea to be a fair bit younger, just because my more norm for storage is definitely a little wetter and more hot.
Right. The viscosity isn't quite there too yet, although we'll get into it. It's pretty early on the steeping, but...
Yeah.
Quite sweet.
Little bit of that sort of like leatheriness to it, like kind of like hints at that sort of like darker tone. It definitely tastes like Pu'erh in the sense that we went from white tea to this. This has a lot of that like astringency to it.
Right. Yeah, all of the intense, deep, earthy peatiness that we're used to, the smoky, just geology that is Pu'erh. I'm getting that. But also some very interesting notes that are a little bit fruity and sweet, saccharine, green and fresh.
Look how
very different color.
yellow that's brewing. But yeah, we'd expect like Taiwan or Hong Kong to be more orange at this point. So
right. And so for people, when you say something like that, James, people are like, well, how would you even say that? Why would you say that? What is the reason you're saying that? You want to go through the biology of that, or?
Yeah, I mean, Pu'erh ages through heat and humidity are the most common factors people are going to look at. Obviously, it's a more complicated process overall, but if we're looking at it more simply. And a place like Beijing, which is very north as far as China goes, will just get hot in the summer. It's very cold and not particularly humid in comparison to a place like Hong Kong or Taiwan. Hong Kong would be far in the south of China, where the temperatures are just hotter year-round, and a lot of those places are very coastal. Taiwan's an island, so it's more humid. And so that will advance sort of like that biological process much quicker.
Right.
So 5 or 6 years in Beijing is not the same as 5 or 6 years in like Taiwan. It's just going to go much at different speeds essentially, and develop different notes too. It's not necessarily the same as like 10 years in Beijing is like 2 years in Taiwan.
Right.
You're going to end up with different results as a result of sort of your storage parameters.
Yeah, totally. And it's going to influence the color, the flavors, the viscosity, some of the funkiness to it. So, cheers.
Cheers. Pretty strong.
Definitely.
Really getting into that floral, leathery range for me. Yeah,
absolutely. Floral. I'm not getting the leathery quite as much. Peaty and floral.
You know how there's like a darker tone to this though? How would you describe that? Like more earthy or?
Yeah, earthy.
Okay.
Basically, almost kind of a mineraliness to it. Definitely some astringency and bitterness to it.
Yeah. This is definitely firmly in the Pu'erh camp.
Absolutely. Yeah, a tea that I think could continue to tolerate some age.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Interesting.
Yeah.
Mouth pucker. Nice strong bitter aftertaste. The steeping is going to be pretty intense.
Yeah, I will not overdo it. Because I think we're getting plenty of strength as is. Mom test?
No. Probably, I'd say that most people wouldn't find this flavor profile to be appealing in the slightest. Just to be honest about it.
Okay, all right.
You know, the kind of astringent bitterness that is, there's kind of a chocolatey, charcoaly bitterness, coffee-like bitterness that we've become accustomed to culturally, that people I think are really used to, burnt caramel kind of stuff, can be a little bitter. This is a green.
It's outside of that.
Yeah, it's a peaty bitterness. It's a juiced green branches that are juiced, and you're drinking the extract of bitterness.
Whiskey drinkers?
I think that there will be some overlap because of the peatiness of it, the earthiness of it. Absolutely. But it's really, I think, just the bitterness of this is really distinct from coffee. Just because you like bitter flavors doesn't mean you're going to be a coffee drinker who likes a pu'erh like this.
Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing with coffee, too, is the pu'erh that looks the most like coffee is almost the least like coffee, too. Right. In the sense that it's, like, ripe or
very
like,
smooth.
Traditionally stored. And, like, that stuff
vanilla-y
is, like, the least bitter pu'erh you're going to have, generally. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh. Yeah, for me personally, I think this tea could definitely benefit from some more aging. It's pretty strong.
But, you know, the floral, that floral high note, sweet fruit thing going on to it, younger flavors itself are here. I think this tea just, the way that it's being stored, it just demands a longer time to hang out.
Do you get, like, apricots or stone fruits or anything like that?
Yeah.
Hints of it.
Yeah, hints of that.
Yeah. One could see in like a more humid storage that sort of developing into more of that sweetness associated with those things. Maybe it will with this storage too. It just needs more time.
It does taste really dry. I mean, there's just no... there's not a lot of softness in it. Yeah, it's interesting though. Very dynamic, lots of flavors going on still.
So let me ask you this too. How has this tea evolved, would you say? Obviously we haven't had this tea when it was young, but how do you think it's changed over the 6 years?
Great question. I think it's going to probably continue to be sweet for a while. and probably just some of the intense bitterness has kind of mellowed out a little bit.
Okay.
So
you think it would have been even more difficult to have in 2015?
Yeah, I think it's not. I wouldn't call it difficult to drink it at this point. I think it's drinkable at this point. I think it's good at this point. It's just like it requires a kind of special palate.
You got to be a Pu'erh drinker.
Yeah. Right. Whereas I think this will blend into something that people are going to just be like, oh, this is an interesting profile. I'm kind of getting this and that from it. Right. And that will take years if it were going to be stored the way that Tiago has stored this.
Yeah, or
rather,
well, we don't know if he stored it, but
where he was getting it from.
Yeah.
So, it's an interesting tea. I think there's a lot of promise to this one in particular.
Yeah.
I think it's still young too, though. I think it's a little bit. Interestingly enough, given how bitter it is, it actually had a very light texture.
Right. Yeah.
So, and the color also betrayed that it can definitely take some time. So,
and Tiago sent us, or sent Denny, I should say, a number of other teas, including a lot of Iwu teas, and I will be curious to see if Denny chooses to bring some of those back onto the show.
I'm sure we will,
because those could be those should be different, and I think maybe a little friendlier to the palate than this tea. Yeah,
exactly, or maybe friendlier to the palate now in comparison. This tea, I think, definitely could continue to hang out, enjoyable for kind of a. I don't want to say advanced Pu'erh weirdo, but kind of, yeah.
If you want something strong, yeah,
definitely,
yeah,
strong and vegetable.
Yeah. If you need to fight a croc,
but this isn't
no substitute.
This isn't like that acrid. Like, did I just consume drugs?
No. It's not. Yeah. This is like 15% of that.
Yeah.
This is not even close.
Yeah. No, it's actually pleasant. It's just intense and bitter. So anyway, Tea Encounter, Google them. Check out Tiago. Always been a supporter of the show. The notes.
Yeah, and honestly, kind of a good Pu'erh to dissect if you're newer and interested, because you see the appeal and you see the strength too. And you see, it's got the bite back. So
you will familiarize yourself with this tea with the bite back, the clap back of raw Pu'erh.
Bite back better, 2021.
Oh my god! I'm sorry. Check it. Okay. Tea Counter, Google them, check them out. TeaDB, Google it, check it out. TeaDB.org is the actual place to go. Subscribe if you want to, or don't. Whatever. Love all you beautiful people out there. Stay beautiful. Subscribe. Do we do all of it? We're good. All right.
Adios.
Peace.